Three, two, one. This is the J08, also known as Jeremy J. Guillory. And today on the Broken Turnbuckle, we have a very special guest here. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Bobby Nose here, man. How you doing?
All right. So, Mr. Bobby, tell us a little bit about yourself and what wrestling
Oh
means to
man, I'm
you.
just a couple. Wrestling means a lot to me, man. I like slamming people around and beating them all the time. I'm one of the coolest guys you ever meet, dude. If you like seeing a winner, man, come check me out anytime on the weekends.
All right. So, how long
My
have you
hand gets
been?
raised a lot.
Yeah. So, how long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling all my life. I've wrestled out of my mom's womb. I wrestled in high school, but in pro wrestling now about 6 years now, I'd say.
Okay. Any big promotions that you've considered or anything like that?
I've been a couple. I mean, my promotion I had, we were on TV, Chair Metal Wrestling. We was on the Now Network. We was on Power and Praise Television. We all believe in Jesus. I've been on a couple other TV shows, but I guess my top promotion, besides my own that I'm super proud that I've performed for. Well, one of them is off the top of my head. I wrestled at Texas Arcana's TV station. They had a wrestling
Nice.
show down there in Texas, man. I was the main event, of course, and I got my hand raised. I won, and that was a good one. I've wrestled for Find Yourself Wrestling out of New Jersey. There's a couple others, man. I mean, I've been all over, I got some friends over in England. I've some British friends over there. You know, uh, a couple of opportunities have been coming up for some bigger promotions that, well, they claim they're bigger. I don't think they're that big until I get there, but we'll see what happens in the future, man. There's a lot of open doors going on right now, a lot of big stations on TV.
Definitely, definitely. Um, let's see here. Um, so, in talking yesterday, you said that you want to talk about scumbags in the business, and I believe there was one other thing here, and talk about who broke in the house theories or shows. Um,
Yeah, man. There's a couple of scumbags in the business, you know what I mean, that try to come between me and opportunities, like I'll be going down one route for this big super match, and then they try to rip me off on the other end.
yeah,
They've ripped me off a lot of opportunities, with Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman, Shane Douglas, just
yeah,
a couple of guys, which I did get to wrestle Nuncio and James Ellsworth, but one of these promoters, man, for this company, he's I got him on camera, and I'm pretty sure I know who you are. I caught him breaking in my house, man, and
oh wow,
he doesn't know that I know yet,
yeah,
But I'm not going to reveal his name right now till I got him right where I want him, and then I'm going to show you that I know who you are that broke in my house and stole my wrestling stuff, man.
yeah,
I think they're looking for my ring, but they couldn't get it, because
yeah,
it's hidden in a place only Bobby knows.
yeah.
My only little place around here.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, man, I know exactly. Eugene was another one that got ripped off. I was supposed to wrestle WWE Eugene, and then I had to deal with the nasty Brian Knobs in Florida. These guys, they want to cut in on my magic. I'm getting these big opportunities, and they're trying to get their stake in the claim. They're scumbags, man. They're trying to look for couch change. You know what I mean? They're
right.
hoping I drop a couple of dollars on the way to my big glory matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And I got their number. I know where they're at, man. I know who they are. And, I've already had one get me pretty good, but on a good deal. But I'll catch them up, man, down the road. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, Who was the biggest name wrestler that you've worked with so far?
I've wrestled with man. There's a bunch of good ones that are big, but
Yeah.
I'd say he wrestled in the WWE. Nuncio. I'm really proud of my match with Nuncio, and James Ellsworth. I want to say Nuncio's kind of had a bigger opportunity. They're both big, but Nuncio, man, he got to wrestle the Undertaker. He's been in the ring with Goldberg. But
Oh yeah.
Ellsworth has been in some big matches himself with like John Cena. Both of those
Yeah.
matches are two of my top favorite matches. Um, I did get the sidewalk slam Ellsworth. The Nuncio match, they're both great matches in my opinion. Two of the best the
Okay.
Indies have ever seen. But yeah, Nuncio and James Ellsworth are
Yeah.
two probably my two favorite big matches name wise. And then
Yeah.
I've had some other couple of guys. Like I got to beat Paul Titan, an AEW guy on a TV show. That was pretty big. Proud
Yeah.
of that one too.
Yeah. Have you
And then I got the
ever
main event at 6 minutes.
yeah. Have you ever been on one of the big promotions like WWE, AEW, TNA as an extra or security or anything like that before?
Oh man, yeah, they invited me down for security a couple times with TNA and NWA, but for whatever reason it didn't work out. I was on a show. I was booked on a show with Kevin Nash and Kurt Angle, but like I said, these scumbags, man, try to get in the
Yeah.
way and cost me opportunities. As of right now, man, the WWE, we I was running against WWE. My show was
Yeah.
on Monday nights, and my other show was on Wednesday nights. I had two shows. I might be the only indie guy that had two TV shows. I mean, if you look into me, man, technically I was running against Raw. I created the Monday Night Wars again at one time in 2022. I mean, I don't know how much ratings we got technically, but we were running the same time Raw was on. We was on the Now Network when Monday Night Raw was running on the USA Network,
Okay.
which I think that's pretty cool. I ran against them, so
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a true
Um,
story too.
yeah. So when you run the shows, is it the network that puts in the time slots, or do you have a say so in the time slots for it?
Well, the TV shows, everybody's like, well, I could do what you do. Well, the TV shows reached out to me. They wanted me to, put on some wrestling plus I'm a man of God. And
Yeah.
as far as the time zone guy, we just came to the discussion that was I don't know if the networks were wanting to run against, WWE. That was more kind of my say so. But yeah, I deliberately picked that time on purpose to run against WWE Monday Night Raw. That was me that did that. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if the Now Network's a Christian station, so the reason why I was interested because it
Yeah.
was shown all over the world. Like I got fans in India, South Africa, and like I said, I know we had one night 40,000 people watching because I was told there's 40,000 show people on the Now Network, which that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
not bad for an indie guy, like me.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Uh, who is your main influence on wrestling? Who did you look at most when growing up?
Man, obviously it was Hulk Hogan, man. I was major Hulk Hogan fan. And then I always admired, Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels, Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, but it was mostly Hogan. Like I
Okay.
always watched during the Monday Night Wars, I was always watching WCW because wherever Hogan went, that's where all the action was going on. I'll be honest with you, I never looked at Austin and The Rock as nothing but mid carders until Hogan went over there and wrestled The Rock. Before that, I thought WWE was the mid card show, even though they beat WCW in ratings. I thought Hogan and Goldberg were like 10 times bigger than Rock and than Austin. That's just me though. That's the way I looked at wrestling back then. I was so excited when the NWO came over, but I kind of, just backed off. I knew what they were trying to do with The Rock, beating Hogan. But when Goldberg went in there and destroyed The Rock a year later, I thought, WCW revenge. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
The Rock got his butt whooped by Goldberg, man.
Yeah, we can go hours on talking about Monday Night Wars and WCW and things.
Yes, I'm a
It was
big
wild
you know,
time.
Hogan and Goldberg all the way, man.
Yeah, yeah. I've talked to people that were all WWE guys and all WCW guys. I was a WCW guy as well, growing up. Um, I guess it was because of the area that we lived in down south and the history of WCW being housed in Georgia and things. So there's that as well. Um, yeah.
I
Uh,
also worked for Hard Legacy. I mean, I was on Hard Legacy too in Canada. They was a pretty good promotion. You
yeah.
know, they're. I unfortunately during COVID I didn't make it to Canada, but I've been was booked up there with Chris Masters and Teddy Hart and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
was offered a big payday, but COVID was going on at the time, and I wasn't able to make it up there across the border.
Definitely.
You can understand that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. COVID was a wild time to do any traveling whatsoever. I mean, all wrestling
Yeah,
promotions.
one of the
Yeah.
things I'm proud of, man, is when COVID was going on, and everything was shut down. Even WWE wasn't traveling, but
Yeah.
me and my buddy, well, he's a buddy of mine now, but we had a pretty good feud going on, man, and
Yeah.
me and him was like the only guys traveling there for a couple of weeks. I'm serious. Like there was nobody traveling,
Yeah.
in the middle of COVID, and we were traveling across the country, wrestling. I'm not
Yeah.
saying we were the only ones doing it, but where I come from and where I heard, nobody was traveling. But we traveled and had a nationwide feud, in the middle of COVID, and I thought that was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
proud, super proud of that. His name's Lord Mitchell Taylor. I don't know if he likes me, because I beat him so many times, but we're pretty,
Yeah.
pretty tight. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. How many championships have you won?
I've won three. Of course, I won the chair metal heavyweight championship on their debut show. I won a big tag match. I've won four. I'm sorry, I forgot my first title on my debut was a 24/7 belt. It was called what was it called? I forgot the name of it, but it was one of those belts you win.
Yeah.
24/7, always on the line. At the top of my head, I got to look it up, but I won on my debut. I won a belt, and then I won the chair metal title. I've won the CNA Canadian U.S. title in Florida. I've had that for a few years, and then I won a television title for that TV company, Texar. So I've won four titles in my career, which is not too bad. I'm proud of them. You know, four championships. I'm still
Yeah.
currently holding three of them.
Oh, wow.
I still haven't been beat for them, man. So I thought that was pretty cool. And
Definitely.
well, one of them, the promoter, the guy, I was working for his company, and I'm loyal to my promoters. And when I won the belt, his promotion was no longer with the TV company. So when he got, canned from that TV company, I became the permanent TV champ, I guess, because they're no longer, you know, on that TV show. So
Yeah.
the title's mine. Nobody can really beat me for it. So
Yeah. Let's see. What else here? So, yeah, it sounds like you had a pretty strong career there. Um,
yeah, I mean,
yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
yeah, I've had to run into a couple of scumbags, man, that's tried to put obstacles in front of me, but I always work around them. So no
Yeah.
matter how many obstacles there are, I go around them.
Yeah.
And I like to mention I'm also a semi-pro football player. So when I'm not wrestling, I'm also playing football.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Also, with the bad pay, is that just due to the promotions or the bookings, or what
Well,
causes?
just their scumbag promoters, they promise you all this stuff, and then they either don't pay you, they rip you off, you
Yeah.
know, or like they get you get a hotel and it's supposed to be yours, and then at the end of the show, there's like 8 guys in there, so the
Yeah.
promoter, he makes you think you're only getting the motel for yourself, and then you end up sharing it with 8 other dudes.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Of course, I had to kick the other 7 out, but I ended up getting the motel. But I didn't want to have to kick those guys out and then put them on the streets or
Yeah.
nothing like that.
Yeah. So you said that you ran your own promotion as well. Have you had any booking issues with other wrestlers where they would say that they would show up but they didn't show up or anything like that?
Yeah, man, I've had a couple guys not show up or try to force. They want to be on the flyer, and then they force themselves, or they lie about their pay. Like they try to force me to pay for something, like their plane ticket and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
I've had wrestlers book themselves on my show, and I'm like, I didn't book you. What are you doing on my show, man? And
Yeah.
then after they book themselves, they're like, you owe me money. You advertised it. I didn't book you. That was you bullied yourself on my show. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on here, man? They're trying to say I
Yeah.
owe them money. I didn't book you. What are you doing on my show? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had that issue, man. I've had wrestlers after I paid them their fee, their motel, their flight, still trying to say I owe them money. I was like, how do I owe you money? I said everybody was paid before. That's whatever, man. Like I said, a lot of scumbags in the business. A lot of scumbags,
Definitely.
man. They're just, man, dude.
Yeah.
I've had a sidewalk slam a lot of people, man. We've had to go out back after the end of the show and, settle out the money we owe. That's kind of how we do it. When nobody gets paid,
Yeah.
we just go out there and, either the promoter plays or he gets a black eye or the wrestler gets a black eye, You want to be a promoter, man, you got to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went to a guy's house one time. There was 30 of us, and,
Wow.
the guy could have shot us all, but he came out and he made sure he paid every one of the big guys there, man. So I've been there when the wrestlers don't get paid. They drive to the dude's house. That's a real thing that happens in the business. So if you're going to be a promoter, either make sure you pay, make sure you got medical insurance, or you can defend yourself, man, because,
Yeah.
these wrestlers want their money, man.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you're the promoter and the show went under the amount that you were expecting? Like the crowd did not show up as many as it would have been turned out to be, and you had to underpay your performers?
No, I've never had to underpay because I always make sure my top guys are paid. The
Yeah.
main event, you always pay your main event. Make sure you pay your main event guys. But no, I've never. There was one time I canceled the show, and I told him, we're no longer doing the show. People going, and the guy's like, well, I already paid for my flight, and I was like, well, I didn't tell you that. He was expecting me to reimburse his flight, and I was like, I never said I was paying for your flight, man. So he
Yeah.
goes around saying I owe him money. That wasn't part of the deal,
Yeah.
I never bought. These guys try to force you to pay. So that's the only guy that can really say I owe him money. But other than that, dude, I always make sure the wrestlers are paid because you got to keep in mind that we sell concessions, right?
Yeah.
So even if the crowd don't buy enough tickets, I don't like the idea of paying the wrestlers based off the gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, handle your business. That way the gate goes in the promoter's pocket. So go ahead and do your budget, get your wrestlers paid, and then when the gate shows up, But I'll be honest with you, I'm a performer first and a promoter second, and you know maybe I should be promoter first, wrestler second, but it's the other way around with me. I will take my own personal pay cut to make sure the other wrestlers are paid. You know what I mean? If anybody's going to be taking in the loss, it's going to be me. I'll make sure the wrestlers are paid first. And if I have to wait a week, I've had one time where a guy had to wait a week to get paid after the show. It happens there.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry, man. It's fun.
what is your big gimmick for your character? Most,
I'm like I don't know, man. Kind of like I guess Albert Einstein meets Mick Jagger. You know what I
oh
mean? We're
wow.
kind of like if Mick Jagger was Albert Einstein. Yeah, that's kind of Bobby knows everything. Plus that's kind of what it is, man. Albert
Okay.
Einstein meets Mick Jagger. That's the best I can describe it. You know what I mean? Bobby knows, man. Maybe a
Okay.
little David Lee Roth in there.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it, man. Mick Jagger meets Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein kind of, could, which I doubt he could fight, man. I think he was thinking too many times. I'm Albert Einstein in the 21st century. You could say that.
Okay.
I think I passed him up years ago.
Who was your first actual opponent?
Man, my actual opponent, his name was man, and I'm not saying I forgot his name. I know who he is. I just got to look him up again on my match. I can't remember all my opponents, but it was like Humphrey or Dwayne Humphrey or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a juggalo. Yeah, that was my first opponent. Actually, it was a luchador guy. I can't, dude. You know what? And I feel so disrespectful for forgetting their names. I'll look them up. I know who they are. I know their face, but I haven't thought about them in a while. So I hate that I forgot their names, man. I know who they are. Dwayne Humphrey, I believe, and then the other guy's name was not Hernandez, Hertz or something like that. A luchador, yeah, Mexican man. I'll send you the matches, man. I can't
Yeah.
remember. It's on my YouTube channel. Bobby knows
Yeah.
YouTube if you want to check it out.
Definitely. Definitely. Um, and do you have any recommendations for any independent or any references for any other guys that would like to be on this show on the Broken Turnbuckle?
Any I think you should get the. Well, I always want to throw Lord Mitchell Taylor in there. I think he's a good one to have on the show if you want to ask
Yeah.
him. If he's. But there's a couple other guys that I like to mention. One of them, his name's Jonathan Allen from Flying Lion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always like to throw those guys
Yeah.
their names in there. But there's a bunch of them, man. I like to name off. Off the top of my head, dude, I want to throw someone's good name out there. Let me get one. Ethan. Yeah, Ethan. Oh, man. See, the problem is I don't know their last name.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
there's a
Yeah.
couple. I mean, I'm sitting there studying their names, man. Brandon Groom, if you get him on here, he might come on here. Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart would be a good one, dude. You can ask Teddy Hart. You can ask
Yeah.
James Ellsworth. You never know, man. These
Yeah.
guys are willing to come on your show.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys, man. I want to throw out there. There's some other ones. Owen Hart, not Owen Hart like the legend Owen Hart. God rest. I'm
We.
talking about Owen Hart, the Indy Chase Owens guy. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
couple of other guys, man. Off the top of my head, man, Bobby knows that he wasn't paying attention to everybody's last name. Man, I just go in there and sidewalk slam people, man. I really don't ask for information. Whoever my opponent is, I shake their hand. We get to work, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the 1, 2, 3, man. I ain't got time to worry about their last names or nothing, man. They don't matter anyway, What
Right.
I would do if I was you, dude, I would just have me on once a week, and continue growing your fan base. We can keep, talk about some other things, like wrestling. I like to talk about wrestling. I got a lot of
Definitely.
opinions about things.
Definitely. We have different topics already set up already. Um,
All right.
I do know that one of the options I was going to have on since a couple days ago was the 16th year anniversary. We could be talking about Umaga soon.
Yes, Umaga. Yes.
Survivor Series. Um, one of my co-hosts that had to leave recently due to personal conflicts. He suggested Nick Brockwinkle from AWA, um, and different shows like that. But we also want to move out of talking things strictly on just WWE and go into more independence and things because everyone on YouTube talks about WWE all the time and AEW all the time. So obviously, this show we wanted to be more unique, get more fan base, more people on here. Um, Sooner or later, I'm going to be bringing in a former WWE referee, Wes Adams, on here soon, and hopefully we'll be able to have more details on how referees work in the WWE versus independent, since he's worked both as well. Have you had any experiences with refereeing or anything like that?
Nah, man, I usually get pretty upset at the referees, man. I've had a lot of referees try to, Montreal screw job me, dude. So, yeah, I kind of despise refs right now,
Yeah.
So no, I haven't got to. I got to be a referee like one time, if I
Oh
remember right.
wow.
It's I don't even know what match it was, who they were facing, and I really just kind of let the two guys go at it the whole time. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
had a lot of good relationships with referees. Had a lot of them, that are in bed with the promoter and stuff like that. So, nah, man, I'm not really a referee guy. I've
Yeah.
had after matches, I've actually had to, sidewalk slam the referee before. Um, yeah, and the
Yeah.
promoter end up, kicking me out of the company. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, man, me and referees don't get along a whole lot, but I have refed one match. I just can't remember. It was like back in 2020 in
Wow.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. I
That's
just gotta.
nice.
I remember. I can't remember who the man. I'm having a hard time remembering these people, man. Cause I guess because I'm always looking in the mirror at myself and remembering my own name. I'm not. I'm really good with names too, dude. Like some people stand out, but today, man, I don't know what it is, dude. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I mean, I do know. Bobby does know. I just don't know. He's like, I'm not thinking about their names. I know plenty.
Yeah.
You get the picture. You get
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We all understand that
yeah,
situation there.
yeah, man.
Um, yeah. But yeah. Yeah. We do these recordings once a week, every Saturday.
Okay.
Um, I just had a little bit of a delay on my shows. This is actually episode 21. Um, we started,
Man.
yeah, we started back around WrestleMania time this year. But in August 17th, I was involved in an incident where I had a severe burns on my hand. And we had a 5 hour recording session for kayfabe. Yeah, had a 5 hour session on kayfabe, and yeah, it was a very long, tedious process. So after I had to do the rehab on my hand, um, start back late October, mid November, and we just finished it up. So now I'm trying to get the topics back, get everything back up. So yeah, if you want to come back next week, and we'll come up with a good topic for us to talk about, um, let me know.
Yeah, man. Bobby knows. We should talk about Umaga, man. I got a couple opinions about him, man. I got a
Yeah,
couple of good stuff to say about Umaga, man. I like it. I like it. I like it.
yeah,
Umaga.
yeah. Um, what about
Bobby knows Umaga, man.
oh yeah, and could also do one episode on Eddie Guerrero as well. Um,
Yeah,
that's a
man. I
good
love
one.
Eddie.
Yeah, Yeah. So
Yeah, man, we could do a couple, man.
yeah.
Oh, man.
So I think that we can lock in Umaga for next week with Bobby Nose.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, man.
and see if we can find any good stories or matches about Umaga, and hopefully get everything good for his show. Other than that, this has been the Jazz 08 with Mr. Bobby